queens, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tomisi Ayeni, and in this tutorial I'm going to be taking you through step by step on how to draft the basic bodice pattern. If you find this video helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So without wasting much of our time, let's get into this video.
I would be using this measurement chart using the medium measurement, and these are the measurements I'll be needing for the pattern extracted from the chart. And also I'll be using this guideline, and I'll be using the shoulder guideline, bust guideline, neck guideline also. So first things first, you get your marker ready, your tape rule, your ruler and your armor curve, and also get your brown paper or pattern paper, anyone you have. So the first thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be writing out the measurement so that it's going to be easy for you guys to understand. So I'll be using the other side here to write out the measurements I'll be using. The first thing to do is to create a block. So to create our block, we're going to be needing our busts divided by 4. So our bust is 1/4 of our body. So I'm making use of centimeter here. Please take note. So 92 centimeter divided by 4, that's 23. So that means that the width is going to be 23. So we're going to be using the 23 centimeter as the width now. So for a start, I like leaving about an inch or so before I start my pattern. So when I want to add my sewing allowance, I have enough space for that. So 23 centimeters, I mark it 23 centimeters. So we are going to be using the shoulder to waist, that's waist to shoulder. For the length, that is 44 centimeters. So take our ruler. My ruler is not up to 44, so I'm going to make use of my tape rule. So 44 centimeters there. We start from where you marked at the upper part there, just right there. Then you mark 44 centimeters. So this is going to be our shoulder to waist. So if your shoulder to waist is an inch, if you are using in inches, just make use of whatever you have in inches. So you mark it. So please take note, I'm trying to create a block. So this block will be our guideline, so whatever we want to do. So I'm trying to draw out the block. So the length of the block is 44 centimeter, that is the shoulder to waist, by 23 centimeter, that's bust divided by 4. Bust divided by 4 is 23 centimeter. So that's how I got this block. So now we're going to be drawing out these guidelines. I highlighted some guidelines earlier: the shoulder guideline, bust guideline, and chest guideline. So the shoulder guideline is 6.5 centimeter. So I'm going to be measuring from the top right there, from the beginning of the pattern there. We're just going to measure 6.5 centimeter down. As I'm doing 6.5 centimeter, then you draw out the guideline. So this is just the guideline, so please just take note, this is just a guideline. This is not the shoulder, this is just a guideline. And also I'm going to draw out the bust guideline. This is a guideline that we're going to use to measure our armor depth. So you're going to start from the beginning up there, also measure 22.5 and draw the guideline also. So I'll just go ahead and label it shoulder guideline, bust guideline. The next thing now is to measure our neck guideline. So neck guideline is also 6.5, so 6.5 centimeter. We're going to start from the center front. That's the center front right there. Just measure 6.5 inside. Then just try to draw a straight line, just a little bit below the shoulder guideline, and label it neck guideline. The next thing now is to measure our chest width. So our chest width here is 33 centimeter. So chest width, we are going to divide it by 2. That will be 16.5 centimeter. So 16.5 centimeters, what we are going to measure from the center front. From the center front, there we are going to measure it and down to the bust guideline. So this line we are drawing right now is going to serve as the armhole guideline. So I'll just label it armhole. Now we are going to draw out neck hole for the front. So that's the center front, so that's where the neck hole will be. So below the shoulder guideline will come down 1.5 centimeter. Below the shoulder guideline, just right there, 1.5 centimeter. Then we place our hammer curve here, and we just draw out the curve. Draw out the curve right there. So that's the neck hole. That's the standard neck hole for a bodice pattern. So to draw out the shoulder, we are going to come up from the shoulder guideline about 1.5 to 2.5, depending on how the person's shoulder is sloped. So I'm going to be coming down here about 2.5 centimeter. Then I'm going to slant it. So shoulder there is 12.5, our shoulder is 20.5 centimeter. We measure 12.5 centimeter from the neck guideline there. Then we'll slant it down to the 2.5 centimeter upward that we measured there. So measure our 12.5 centimeter and stop on that guideline there. We stop around there. Then that's our shoulder line. That's the shoulder line. So the point at which the shoulder line meets with the armhole line, we are going to divide it by 2. I have 20 and divided by 2 is 10. So that's the midpoint. Then we slant the ruler from where the shoulder end, and you slant it up to that point. The next thing now is to measure about 2.5 centimeter upward. Measure 2.5 centimeter before you draw your curve down there. 2.5 centimeter. Then you place your armhole curve. Place your armhole curve to meet those points. That point, the midpoint there, and the 2.5 centimeter, just to make sure that the depth of the armhole doesn't go deeper than the 2.5 centimeter. So that's our armhole curve. We are going to measure out our waist measurement now, using our waist circumference divided by 4 and marking it out on the waistline. Waist circumference is 72 divided by 4 is 18 centimeter. So 18 centimeter will be marked out down here, and we are going to slant it down to the bust guideline. Remember, our block is divided by 4 already, so that line is already 23 centimeter and our waistline is 18 centimeter. Next thing to do is to draft out the underarm dart, and we are going to be making use of these measurements. Bust point height, and the bust point height is 27.5. 27.5 for the bust point height, and nipple to nipple point is 18 centimeter. We start from the point where the shoulder guideline and neck guideline meets, and we'll measure down 27.5 centimeter. Just mark out the point. Just give it a mark. It's a guideline to where our bust point is going to be. Then from the center front, we measure out the nipple to nipple divided by 2. Nipple to nipple point is 18 centimeter divided by 2 will give us 9 centimeter. So we are going to measure 9 centimeter on the guideline. We have the guide point we have there. So we measure it out and mark the nipple point. The 9 centimeter point here is going to be the nipple point here. So that's where the nipple point is. That's 27.5 centimeter. That's the guideline there. So I'm just marking it out for you to understand how we got to that point. Take notes from shoulder to bust point, 27.5 centimeter, and bust to bust point, that is 9 centimeter. This point right here, it's going to be the point we are going to use if we want to do any form of dart. It's the guideline to every form of dart. If we want to do underarm dart, waist dart, shoulder dart, this is the point that we use. So for the sake of this pattern, we are going to be using underarm darts. Then we have to measure from the bust guideline. We measure 9 centimeter. Placing the ruler on the seam line, measure 9 centimeter. And from this 9 centimeter, you slant it. This right here is 9 centimeter. I'm going to slant it to the bust point. So now when drawing your dart out, you make sure your dart doesn't get to the bust point. So we come down from the bust point about 2 centimeters. Come down about 2 centimeters. When drawing your dart shouldn't get to the bust point. 2 centimeters. Then depending on what you want to use for your underarm dart, right here I'm using 2 centimeters. So 2 centimeters divided by 2, that is 1 centimeter. So I divide my 2 centimeter in equal half and I slant it. So that is 1 centimeter each on both sides. That's 2 centimeters. So you extend your line out. Extend it out just a bit so that when you fold it in, or when you sew it in, or when you cut it out, it can still fall back to a straight seam. So this is what we have right here, and this is our front pattern. This is the back pattern measurement, and it's almost the same thing with the front pattern measurement, just that we have 2 different measurements here. The back width and the chest width is quite different. The chest width is 33 centimeter, while the back width is 35 centimeter. The shoulder to waist is also quite different. For the front is 44 centimeter, for the back is 43 centimeter. So the front pattern is quite longer than the back pattern. So I've gone ahead to draw my block, and I'm using the same 23 centimeter, that is bust divided by 4. The same 23 centimeter I use for the front pattern, but the length is quite different. The length here is 43 centimeter. This is going to be the center back. I'm going to be making use of this part at the center back, while this part here is the center front, and it's going to be cut on fold. So I'm going to be adding zip allowance to the center back. So in order to have space to add it, that is why I'm using this part of the pattern. So a zip allowance is about 1 inch. So I'm just going to add 1 inch to this point here for the zip allowance. So I measure 1 inch from the beginning to the end of the pattern, from the top to the bottom, and I draw out my 1 inch. This is going to be the zip allowance, and from this point I'm going to start my back bodice. So the same thing I did in the front here, I'm going to do it at the back here, just that I'm going to make some little changes. So the shoulder guideline 6.5 centimeter, I already draft that out, 6.5 centimeter, and the bust guideline 22.5 centimeter, I already drafted that out also. So the next thing to do now is the neck guideline 6.5 centimeter. So I told you that this is my center back, so I'm going to start it from the initial line, not the other one, not the zip line. so as to have a correct measurement. Neck guideline 6.5, and I'm going to be making use of the back width divided by 2, same way we divided the chest width. So the back width is 35 centimeter. And now I've divided it by 2 and I'm marking it out. So divided by 2, that is 17.5 centimeter. 17.5 centimeter. The same way we drafted it out in the front pattern is the same way we draft it out here. So that's our armhole line. So we do about almost the same thing, just a change in measurement. So now we draft out the shoulder line, and the shoulder line, remember I told you will come up here 2.5 centimeter. So that's the guideline there. Then on slant 12.5 centimeter from the neckline there. We slant it 12.5 at that point. We divide the armhole by 2 from the point where the shoulder guideline meets the armhole line. We divide it by 2. Now I have 19 and I divided by 2 is 9.5. Divided by 2, 9.5, slant it to that point. So take note here, for the front we came up here 2.5 centimeter. However, for the back we're going to be coming up here 1.5 centimeter. 1.5 centimeter. Please take note, the armhole curve for the front and the back are not always the same. 1.5 centimeter. Then use your hip curve to join these points together. 1.5 centimeter. So now this is the upper part of our back block, our back bodice block. So now for the waistline, we divide the waist by 4. The waistline that we use for the front here, we use the exact measurement, but we are going to be adding an 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter depending on what you want to use for your dart. So I'm going to be adding 2 centimeters here. So this is the point, this is 18 centimeter. So I'm going to add 2 centimeter to it. That will be 20 centimeter. So this 2 centimeter is for the dart allowance. Dart allowance, please take note, 2 centimeters for the dart allowance. So I'm just going to slant it to meet the end of the block there. So I change it to 2 centimeter. Next thing to do now is to draft our darts, making use of the same method that we use here, but we are going to be transferring it to the waist dart. So we are going to use the bust point height, that is 27.5 centimeter, and to enable 0.8 centimeter. 18 centimeter divided by 2, that is 9 centimeters. So the same method there, we come down here 27.5 centimeter. Then on that line we mark out our 9 centimeter. That's the nipple point. That point here is the nipple point, the 9 centimeter. And we do the same thing on the waist, the same 9 centimeter. From our center back we measure 9 centimeter, then we come up. Remember I said that on our nipple point we are going to come down about 2 centimeters or so before we start our dart, so that it doesn't get to the point of the nipple point. Then the 2 centimeter that I left for that allowance, I'll just make it equal on the waistline there. That'll be 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter each. And I slant it to the tip of the dart. So these are waist darts, and basically we are done for the back pattern. The armhole is right, the shoulder and everything. So here is our front pattern and our back pattern, and they look actually almost the same. If you can see the shoulder points, they meet each other. You can see the curve in the armhole for the front, and for the side you can have this. You can see the adjustment I made there, and you can see the effect of it coming to the normal measurement, meeting up at the waistline there. So for the neck hole here, I came down 1.5 centimeter here, or like the front where I came down from the shoulder guideline. So I'm going to cut this out. Well, before I do that, I'm going to make an adjustment for the neck hole, because this neck hole is for turtleneck or collar. So this is a kind of standard neck hole measurement. So I'm going to come down a little, and I'm just going to mark this point here. So take note of how I adjusted the shoulder. If you want to adjust the shoulder, if you want it to be a little wider, you reduce it about whatever you want. I reduce mine about 1 inch, and I'm going to go for this neck hole. And for the back also, the same measurement that I reduced here, I'm going to do it here also, so that it can match up, it can be the same. And I come down just about a little, and I'm going to place my curve on it. And this is my new neck hole. This is the neck hole I'll be using for this pattern. So you can adjust your neck hole to whatever you want it, V-neck, canoe, U, four corner, just any type of neck hole you want. Sweetheart neckline, just any type of neck hole you want. So measuring it this way will make your measurements meet up with each other. It will make your pattern to still be equal. By the time I place this on this now, you can see that the shoulder lines still meet up with each other. You can see they still meet up with each other, and that's what we want to achieve.
So thank you guys for watching, and if you find this video helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. And if you have any tutorial you want us to work with, please drop it in the comment section below, and see you in our next video. Bye.